What's up, y'all? Hope all is well with y'all today. I am Ania. If you don't know, well, Tania. Y'all see I didn't change my name up here, but my name is Tania Joyner. Um, it's time to get a little professional with it. It's like, nah, but I don't know. God just told me to change it to my real name. So my name is Tania Joyner, guys. And I just wanted to talk to y'all today. If y'all know, I'm here to speak to the black sheep, which are God's chosen ones. That's who He has called me here to speak specifically to our race and the people within our race that are chosen, because we are the chosen people. We are the chosen ones. We are the true people of the book. And within that, there are chosen ones that God is calling to help build our community up. So that's why I want to do this video. Well, was just put on my spirit to do this video and to just keep on enlightening you guys to who we are, and why we went through the things that we went through as a community, and why we continue to go through the things that we go through as a black community. Like we said, like I've been saying for the past couple months since I've been on my journey, this is a spiritual thing, and it's all about knowing who we are by knowing who God is, because we are His chosen people. And when you're chosen, that means you're chosen to have a certain assignment over your life. You're chosen to be holy. You're chosen to do things in the way that God wants you to do it, and not like the heathens do and other nations do. You're set apart to be chosen and to be the black sheep and the scapegoat, or all the names that we call it. It is truly about being set apart, because that is the black sheep is the one that is different than the other sheep. They didn't feel that the black sheep was worthy of it's a whole thing behind like the purpose that they used, that they felt with the actual black sheep feeling like their wool is it wool, but their material wasn't great enough to be used like the other sheep was. So they were casted out. They were deemed as unworthy and unvaluable. And in the black sheep family, in the narcissistic family, as the black sheep, it's kind of that same thing, that same theme, where you're deemed as the one that's not worthy, or you think so, but really you are the most worthy. I'm not even gonna say the most worthy, because I don't want to sound like nobody else is important. It's not to make it seem like we're better than anybody else, but we're called to something higher than the rest. We're called to bring the light to the darkness of the family. We're here to uproot all the evil that's in the family. So a lot of times they can't take you because they sense that brightness on you, like we discussed in the last video. So if y'all have not watched the last video about the powerful black sheep anointing, the deep revelation of the black sheep anointing, where we went over the star, how you are a star, you are a bright star, and you have a true purpose here, and the dark forces of this world can see that. So they've worked your entire life to dim that light, to shut you out, to silence you, to tell you to shh, be quiet. You don't mean nothing. You're to be seen, not heard, yada, yada, yada. And all the things that we have faced as being black sheep, or you may have looked a certain way. You look different. You act different. Everything about you was different from your family. And because of that, you were scrutinized for it. And even, when it comes to and then like a religious standpoint, you like I realized a lot of black sheep, are the ones who started the like spirituality wave, where they begin to go and to delve into other practices, which literally is like witchcraft, because of trying to find a place of belonging, because they didn't belong in these religious groups. And it's like when you sit and analyze it, like it's just so crazy to me. When your spiritual eyes open and you see things from a spiritual perspective, and from the grand scheme of things, you got to look at things as a big picture, and then you able to put the different pieces, find the different missing pieces to the puzzle to figure out why, like to figure out things like, It'd be that one piece to the puzzle that's missing, or a couple pieces to the puzzle, so you can't quite make out the big pictures because there's a lack of understanding somewhere. And a lot of it is because we don't know who we are. I tell y'all this all the time about the Black community overall, like, I mean, humanity overall. Many people don't know who they are, why they're here. And you know why? Is because you're not connected to the Creator. You're not connected to Source to know, why am I here? Like, first of all, where did I come from? Who made me? You know, I'm the little spermie that made it. You're the little spermie that made it. Out of all the spermies, all them souls, because sperm is souls, and all the ones that was fighting for the spot, fighting to get to the egg, you're the one that made it, because it's a reason that your soul is called here. It's a certain mission that your soul is here to do, that only you can do, in the way that you do it. A lot of us Black sheep, we have a lot in common. I was just watching this other girl's story, you know, and we all, I hear it, it's so redundant at this point, because it's the same thing with everybody. It might be like a couple tweaks to it that's a little bit different from your story, but your pain is a little bit different, but it's all deep-rooted pain that comes back to a feeling of, you know, the spirit of rejection and abandonment, and just being deemed as unworthy because of these demonic spirits that's within your family, and that's been within religion, and all of that has made a bad impact on the people as a whole, on all of us, because we don't understand that it's a dark force that's working against the Black sheep, working against the chosen ones, because they don't want you to awaken to who you are, because they know that you're here to counter them. You're here to expose them and reveal the darkness that's within them. You're here to cast out them demons. God is giving us the power and authority to go against these strong men, to go against this dark force. He's given it to us. And you have to understand what your assignment here is to do. It is to go against them. It is to speak your truth. You're not to be silenced. It's for you to learn how to break out of, you know, being that people pleaser and being silenced and being scared and just feeling like you gotta, you know, be seen and not heard. No, baby, you're here to be heard. You are ordained to be a prophet amongst the nations. You are called here to teach the truth. This is why a lot of us speak truth and seek truth. We're very curious creatures. We're very curious because it's things that just don't make sense. You know, I was just watching a girl video, and she was saying, it was on a live, and it was just so good. It was so good because it was like, the girl, she has issues, you know, within her family, and you know, it was mainly with her grandmother, and it's the same thing where you facing these issues with like your grandmom or your mom, and they reject you and they criticize you for things, and it's like, you know, and it make you feel not good enough, and that's the one person that you really want to feel good enough for, because you put them on this hierarchy, and you see them as like they're the matriarch. So when it's like when they shun you and when they speak down on you, it makes you feel bad about yourself. And a lot of times these people who do that, they are religious and they have a religious spirit on them, and they've been in the church all their life. And I hear the same stories from so many people, everybody who's been in the church, and you know, they've been in the church, grew up in the church, and because they grew up in the church and they seen how these church people acted towards them outside of the church or even in the church, it has made them turn away from God and stray away from God, and made them feel like, oh, like this, just to completely deny the book because of how they use this book to chastise them. And the word is for correction, rebuking, teaching. It's for all things. It's for reassurance. This book is the book for everything, but it is the way that these people can use it to condemn you and to attack you, instead of using it to teach you and to give you like the context of what it's saying and why God is saying not to do this thing or to do this thing. And that's the thing that I've noticed with a lot of people who reject the Bible. It's because of how church people may have used the Bible. Like the girl was saying, her mom, her grandmother made her read the Bible and read a certain passage to try about homosexuality. It's not funny or nothing, but a lot of people have this same story, and they try to go show you a scripture and say what's going to happen to you, and you're going to hell and all of this stuff like that. But from my understanding, from what I see, most times, if you do a poll about everybody who is, in that community, in the LGBTQ community, a lot of times it's rooted in a molestation that they have been through. So it has caused them, it's just like something, the spirit that comes on you when that happens to you, because everybody doesn't become, attracted to the opposite sex, but some people begin to have identity crisis with who they are, and what if they really, it creates an identity crisis because of the spirit that it puts on you. And even, it promotes, it puts the spirit of Jezebel on you, and control, and it's a lot of things that happens when you have been molested, or the R word, or just neglect, and not being seen or heard or validated, and not feeling that love. It pushes you out into the world. It pushes you out into the arms of danger, where now you're getting exposed to even more negativity, and you just want to go anywhere where you're seeking to be accepted, and where you're seeking love, and where you can just find your place. And I realized that with a lot of people in the spiritual community, and that's why I even say now, I'm never going to fit in nowhere. It's just something that you have to embrace and accept. And at the right time, God will put people that are similar to you, but nobody's going to be exactly the same. You take what you can and leave the rest. But I say that now, I'm like, dang, I feel like I don't agree with the spiritual community all the way. There are a lot of things that, that they do that it is like, okay, we share some beliefs, but then it's like, they like to reject the word, and they like to do too many extra protection type of rituals and all that. And I don't get down with that, because I know that the only true protection comes from the Most High God, baby. I never had to light no sage. I never had to use no crystals. I never had to do none of that. Simply my relationship, me talking to God, and me moving in with integrity in life, even though, not perfect, and I have done my things too, but because of the heart posture, I'm covered. So you don't have to do those things. And people go to all types of extremes to get protection, when the ultimate protection comes from God. And the main issue, that I have with spirituality is that they try to reject the word. And 9 times out of 10, these people have not read the Bible. You have to read the Bible for yourself. You have to stop looking for savior outside of yourself other than from God. You cannot be looking for places to fit in and comfort, and looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for protection in all the wrong places. You get that from the Lord. You get that from God. You don't get that from no external sources, and even from your parents. Even though, yes, as parents, we're supposed to cover our children. We're supposed to cover our grandchildren, all the youth that's around us. We're supposed to cover them. But a lot of our older generations, y'all have to understand, and this is especially when it comes to our community, there is deep-rooted pain and trauma. It's deep-rooted. Our parents, your grandmama and her great grandma, they have not broken off the stuff that has endured from slavery and segregation. And I even hear I saw a lady the other day on TikTok talking about how her fear, the spirit of fear that's on her still because of those times. And people don't understand, when you fear God, you don't fear that other stuff. You don't fear the government. You don't fear the police. You don't fear, because you fear the force, the power of the Holy Spirit, which is a domineering force that overtakes any and everything, that gives the ultimate command. So you have to just understand how deep-rooted this stuff is, and why it's been passed on to you, and why you went through the things you went through. This is why it's important to spend time alone and ask these questions. And a lot of us as chosen ones, as Black sheep, you're very curious, and you're curious for a reason. And a lot of times the curiosity that you have, mankind hasn't been able to answer it for you, because they don't know. And even if they know, they don't really want you to know. Questions that you have about your family, I'm telling you, I don't know my family. All I know is my mom and my brother and my grandmother and my uncle and my cousins who, you know, two of them passed or whatever, that was like my close, the only people that was like kind of around me. But even still, it was like I spent so much time alone. Like, and I'm not really close with anybody. As I have been getting older, you know, before me and my mom fell out, we started to talk more and stuff like that. But I really have been in this thing alone. I don't know about my family. And even as I'm like digging into a lot of stuff now about who we are as a community and all of that God is revealing to me, it has taken for God to reveal all these things to me. It has taken for God, me going on my spiritual journey. It has taken, He revealed everything to me. He reveals it all. I don't be talking to these people. I don't know from them. If I'm expecting them to tell me, I will never get the confirmations and answers and validation I need and closure and comfort. They're not going to give it to me. They don't have the capacity to give it to me because they haven't gotten it for themselves. They have a lot of deep-rooted trauma and pain within them, a lot of demonic spirits that are on them because of this pain and because of opening the doors to these unclean spirits that they don't have it to give. And this is why God chose you as the black sheep. Instead of looking up to these people. And that was a big thing for me because I used to like put my mom on. It was like idolatry. Like idolatry is so serious. You're not even supposed to idolize your parents. You're not supposed to idolize no one but the Most High God. You don't idolize nobody. You don't idolize no one. And that's why God will strip you from places. People who you put on big pedestals, God will make sure that they upset you. He will make sure that they upset you to show you that you don't give that type of authority and you don't put that much hope and that much, you don't give them all of that. Pastors, prophets, teachers and all that, you don't give them the power that you're supposed to give God. You don't reverence them in the same way that you're supposed to reverence God. It's like you have to understand that they are flesh. We all are made of flesh and spirit. So at any given time, they can go off of their flesh. And when they do go off of their flesh, because they are made of both flesh and spirit, and it is hard to always just simply go off the spirit because we are bad. We're made of two forces that oppose one another. We're made of the flesh and the spirit, and they oppose one another. And when you're not spiritually strengthened and spiritually fed, it's very easy to go off the flesh. And then when these people who you put on these pedestals, when they go off of the flesh because they're not in tune with their spirit and they don't, make a due diligence to constantly work based off the spirit, when they do fleshly things and that fleshly act upsets you and it hurts you, now you begin to think that it's everybody, or if it's a spiritual religious leader or something, you begin to think that it's God because they are supposed to be representatives of God. So if they're representatives of God, how could they judge me? How could they do this? How can they, but you have to have the understanding that they are not God. The church is not God. Your family members are not God. God will use anybody. He will use anybody to help you, to guide you, to push you into your next. And sometimes to push you into your next, it takes for that evil. I tell y'all all the time, I would not be here if what I perceive as evil that the narcissists in my life have done to me, if it wasn't for them, I would not be here. It took for that stuff to happen, for God to, allow the devil to get to them and do all that little stuff just to get to me, because he knew the one thing that was going to take to push me, that was going to move me, quickly away without worrying about being prepared with having the money and all that stuff. Because if I would have been waiting forever to finally leave Maryland. I would have waited until I was successful and really had my money going, everything right for me to dip and go off to move to another state and do all of this stuff. So it took me feeling like my life was in jeopardy or my kids was in jeopardy, their safety was in jeopardy, for me to go and to go on the journey. And through me going on that journey, it has helped. It's helping other people. It's helping you guys. And even when it comes down to my daughter's, her best friend's mom, it's like, it's so interesting how God works. I was, shedding tears this morning because I'm like, the power of God is just so amazing how he will use anybody. You go through things in your life because it's not solely about you. It helps you too, but it's because you're here to serve for the Lord and help out the rest of his people. I went through the same thing. She texted me, yesterday asking me, get my opinion. Like she was like, I'm thinking about moving to Houston. It's just some stuff that she going through. And she was like, I'm thinking about moving to Houston. I was like, go. Go. If God is putting on your heart, and she was just telling me, some of the signs she was getting, it is just like, it's so amazing how God will put you in positions like he put us both in the shelter. This is why you can't be afraid, and you have to truly trust the process of what God is taking you. When you're in your wilderness season, I don't even know why I'm getting emotional, but it is emotional because it's like God really do. He's a purposeful God. He does not do nothing in vain. Everything is with a purpose, and it's not necessarily just for you, but it's for all parties involved. Because what God did to me and through me is not only helping me with me feeling fulfilled and me filling these voids with him and not sex, weed, and money, chasing money and all of that. Not only am I getting the nourishment and getting the healing that I need, I'm also able to help other people through their journeys as God leads them, because he's using me to help her. I'm like, look, the way that he does things, down to like nothing happens by mistake. Everybody that you meet is it's not by mistake. And God knows who we are and how we are, and he knows I'm friendly, but I'm not like trying to be cool with people like that. So when I was in the shelter, I stick to myself. I'm not trying to be friends with the girls. It's not that I think I'm better than y'all. And sometimes people think that, especially if you're introverted, and I'm a lone wolf. I love doing everything alone. I move alone in life. Like I have always been like that. I don't have to move in packs. Like I'm good by myself. I hold my weight by myself. I'm not scared about myself. Like I do everything by myself. Go get my nails done. Go everywhere. I'll go on the vacation if I have to by myself. I'll do everything by myself and have no problem with it. Like I'm really that type of person who can go out to eat by herself. Like I move by myself. If you don't, like, a lot of people don't see me with another person. They just see me by myself. So it's like I'm just that person. So it's not that it's against anybody, but other people who don't understand you, because maybe they need people around them to feel validated and to feel good. And I find the most solace, and I actually feel the safest, and I actually feel better by myself. I don't need a pack running behind me to feel like I'm that girl, to feel like, I'm that. I don't need nobody bigging my head up to feel like I'm that. I know who I am deep down within. I've always stood true to who I am. And when sometimes people can look at that and see and think that stuck up, or think that you're better, when really I'm just minding my business. I'm just to myself. I'm not trying to build relationships with everybody. Like who God calls for me, I'll feel it. I don't have to seek that. And because God knows that, even like my case manager at the shelter, she used to say, I don't never see you with nobody. Like, she's like, I hardly see you, Miss Joyner. You be to yourself. You be down there at the end of the hall in your room. I might see you down here to come get something. But other than that, like, you be to yourself. And, at the shelter, I wasn't buddy with the girls. Like, I didn't talk to all them girls in there. Like, I mean, I'll talk to y'all and I might chop it up with y'all real quick, but I'm not chilling. I'm not trying to hang. I'm not trying to come to your room. You're not coming to my room. Like, we're not doing all that. But if I see you in the hallway, I might talk real quick, boop, 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 and keep it pushing. But that's just how I've always been. Like, it's just how I've been in school and college. Even in college, I didn't run with nobody. Like, I'm to myself. Like, all of that, that's just who I am. I know a lot of people, but I don't be with a lot of people. Like, I know people and I'll chop it up with you right quick, but I don't like buddy. That's just not who I am. So God knew, like he put me here to help her, my daughter's best friend's mom, and they became friends first. before we got to talking. Like, they became friends, and we keep them because we both came here from up north. She's from Pittsburgh, and I'm from Maryland. So it's like we both ended up at the shelter, kind of going like a similar journey, and we got a lot of stuff in common. And it's just interesting how he is using me to help her, because she get ready. I told her yesterday, I'm like, you get ready, God trying to take you into your purpose, like, and she just, all of the stuff that she's been going through, I just been kind of guiding her, letting her know, just trust the process. Stop stressing. God got you. Like, I mean, look where you are now. If he got you there, he trust the plan, trust the process. And this is for any of y'all out there, because she's the black sheep. She's set apart, the chosen ones. We all have that same, like, you could just tell. It's to the point where you can see it. When your spiritual eyes are open, you can sense another chosen one, just like the girl in the live. Before she even said, her like little story, I already knew. I'm like, okay, you chosen. I told y'all with my ex, he's chosen. Like, you can see it. And especially if they are the black sheep. It's just evident. Like, the black sheep carry that same energy. But it's just funny how through my journey, and me ended up at the shelter to meet her, in the way that we met through our children and through being at the shelter, because they became best friends because of the shelter, and we still keep them close. And I always tell y'all, I be like, I want to move back to Houston. I don't want to live in Dallas. I really want to move back to Houston. I like the palm trees. I like it better down there. It's just like, it's more like my vibe where we was at in Houston. So I really always say that. I'd be like, I want to go back there. So I told her, I said, go, girl. I said, I'm planning on moving back down there eventually too. And it's so funny because I was like, I don't want to keep moving. My daughter, she loves her best friend. Like, they have been glued together since last year. Like, it's been a year of them being friends and stuff, and they are like this. And even with us moving out of the shelter, we still have been keeping them close. We ended up moving like 10 minutes from each other, and it was 7 minutes, and we didn't even realize that I didn't know where I was going to be moving to, and all of that stuff. So it's just interesting how God is keeping us close. And I'm like, y'all the only ones that we know here. And she's a little more extroverted than me, so she be meeting people, but they are distractions to her journey. And that's what I told her. Sorry, y'all, these kids love to interrupt. But I've been telling her, I'm like, you get rid of like the distractions and trying to help out everybody and that people pleasing spirit. I kept telling her, you can't bring everybody with you. God is getting ready to do some magnificent things for the chosen ones. But when he sends you on your journey, when he sends you into the wilderness on your journey, the more you try to hold on to those old things, those old ways that you used to do back in your hometown, that you used to do back before, when he's trying to make you anew and you keep trying to hold on to things, people, and places from the past, you're going to prolong your process. And all that's going to do is keep you feeling in despair. It's going to make you feel like, what is going on? My life just can never get right. And because you won't let go, you're binded to things and even habits and practices and traits within yourself that you must rid. Like I told y'all in that other video, this is what happened with the Israelites in their wilderness season on the way to the promised land. There's certain things that cannot come with you into this new land. It's certain things that cannot come with you into your success. There's certain things that you have to change. It's habits that you have to change. You have to really develop your character, develop your mind to be exactly who you're called to be, because you're praying for things. Everything that you're praying for, God wants to deliver them to you. He wants you to have what your heart desires. Only if it's in his will. Only if it's in his will. But he wants you to understand that when you get this thing, you cannot idolize it. You cannot make it an idol, because it's so easy for us to make things an idol because we went so long without something. I have found myself doing that with the house at first, and even with the plant that I have, because I just love making my house pretty. Like, my house is my oasis. That's my safe haven. That's where I am all the time. Everybody knows, like, if you really want to know where I'm at, I'm in the house. You know I'm in the house. Like, my dudes used to know, they know that girl in the house. Only thing she doing, if she go out, she taking the kids out somewhere, or she going to the store to run some errands. And she that girl back in the house. That girl ain't doing nothing. Like, they even know that. Even my BD, he said the same thing. Like, you ain't doing. He was like, it was like for my birthday or something. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. He's like, girl, you ain't doing nothing. Like, I ain't doing that. He already know, like, you know, I'm not doing nothing. I'll be in the house. That's where I be at. I love it at the house. And that's why, you know, it was so painful for me to be in that season of being in shelters and hotels and all of that stuff and just literally relying on God, because I'm like, I know that I can go get me a job or do my hustles. I know how to hustle. So for me to be homeless because of following the Lord and letting him lead me, and you got me homeless, I'm like, what is this about? But I stayed down and trusted the process because it has led me here. And through that journey, now I'm able to help other people who are going to go through that same thing, because it's a part of it. Abraham had to go through it. Jacob had to go through it. They had to go. They had to travel. All the Israelites had to go through that. Our ancestors, the ones that was in slavery, they had to go through a wilderness when they broke free from bondage. Well, when God freed them from slavery, they were vagabonds going here and there, trying to find where they were going to be at. The Exodus, the great migration. Exodus is a great migration. It's where you leave one place and you go somewhere else. And that's what many of you are going to go through. And it's for a reason. Because through your journey, through your life story, through the things that you've been through, that's why when you go through things, you can't start hating God. You're going to get mad, of course, because you don't understand. You don't understand. So you're going to get upset. It's just what it is. But just like Job, that's what I'm telling y'all. If y'all know, I did the Job Bible study on here. And I did the Job, the Daniel, like it's in a playlist. But those videos, those are the reason why I only did those, because those apply to the chosen ones, because you might be going through a Job season in your life, and you got to understand that it's not to hurt you, you know. But like in Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, to give you a hope and a future, not to harm you. The journey you're going on is not to harm you. The things you went through is not necessarily to harm you. It's to prosper you. It's to build up your character, build up your endurance, to fight the good fight. Let me read this scripture right quick for y'all. It was in Romans. It was in Romans, and it's true. Because the purpose of, you know, your trials and tribulations, it says, and not only so, but we glory in tribulations, also knowing that tribulation works patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. And hope makes not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Ghost, which is given to us. I'm going to read it also in the that's the KJV version. I'm gonna read it also in the New International Version, because I like how, you know, it just be the wordplay for me. That's why I like looking at different versions. I always compare them because I like the word. It be the wordplay that I like. So in the NIV version, it says, not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. So you have to understand that all of the stuff you go through is to build up your character. It's to make you new. It's to renew your mind, body, and soul. It's to push you into your purpose. It's to give your life meaning, because a lot of people walk around out here just like zombies, doing anything, feeling unfulfilled. And because you feel unfulfilled, you go to all these devices out here to use these things as temporary coping mechanisms, something to try to make you feel good. And when you do these things that try to make you feel good, they end up leading only to more suffering for you, because of the result that comes from it. It leads to you feeling heartbroken and unvalued, and it only does more harm when you look for outside validation than to get filled up by the Lord, to let him fill you up with his Holy Spirit and that overwhelming love to fill up all those voids that you have. So you have to understand that when you're going through these things in life, it's literally to teach you and to give you experience. It produces wisdom for you so that you can help out the next person. It feels good. And then most of you, if you are black sheep, a chosen one, you know we have a savior complex. We have a helper spirit. We always want to help. I was listening to the girl say that. I'm like, oh, we all sound the same. And somebody, y'all was saying that in the comments on that video the other day. We all got a similar story. It's all similar. It's so crazy how similar, because it's a spiritual thing, baby. It's a spiritual thing. And when it's a spiritual thing, it's widespread. It's widespread. This is how you know it's a spirit thing. We are from all different walks of life. Y'all live in all type of places. We all different ages. Even though like most of us, because from my analytics, I see that most of us is between like 25 and 35. And then of course I got some 18 to 24 and all the way up to like 65. So it's different ages, but the bulk of my audience on YouTube is that. And I have a lot of male and female. Even on my other little thing that I'm building up, when I look at the analytics, I'm like, I always bring in men and women. And I'm happy about that, because I don't only want to bring in the women, especially in our community, because our men need to know who they are. Like I always say, if you're a man watching this, you need to understand that the enemy wants so hard for you not to have a relationship with God, because he knows when you get to know who you are the most powerful being on this planet. And they don't want y'all to know that. They don't want y'all to walk in your full authority as the black man. They don't want that. They don't want that. But you have to understand, this is why, I'm trying to finish up. I'm still trying to finish up with this ebook that I'm creating for y'all. So I can get back into my studies, deep going hard with who we are, because this is the biblical history, biblical black history. And even something that I'm observing, like when you see the connection to the Bible, to history with the Confederacy, I'm like, Israel Ops in here in Psalm 83, Israel Ops was 11 tribes that went up against them. The Confederacy was made of 11 states that oppressed us. It's the same in here. So that's why I'm like, this is the history, baby. And it's just about putting all the pieces together. It's like a big puzzle that God is helping me solve. And I would know none of this if I haven't went on my spiritual journey. Like me, y'all see the videos is up here. And that's why God told me to record everything, because the videos is up here for y'all to see. It came out of no, I just started reading the Bible. And I'm like, hold up, this sounds like our story. This sounds like us. And before I even knew this, when I was still in Houston, in the beginning, my videos I have a deep passion for my community. Like it saddens me. It's like a bittersweet feeling towards my own community. It's like, I love us. I love to see, we really have some love and in us deep down. We have some good souls, but it's just so much demonic energy that is plaguing our spirits. Is demonic spirits that's on us that we need deliverance from, and that we can only get delivered once we realize what's going on, which is what's talked about in the book. We have to get back to putting God first, for real, not for fake. You can't serve two masters. You can't be trying to serve the world and you want to do all these worldly things. You want to chase money. You cannot chase money and the Lord. You got to pick a side, because for the love of money is the root of all evil. And when you do anything for money, you will backstab God. You will backstab your whole dang on family doing anything for money. And because of the pressure that's on our community, we've been stricken with poverty. We don't even understand these are plagues, because we're the chosen people. And when you don't break free from those ways that God is keep on chastising you about, because everybody wants to feel like you're being judged. No, baby, this is to help you. It's certain things that you can't do. God tells us not to do certain things because it only hurts you. It makes him mad because you're profaning your temple And he needs your temple. You're the chosen one. So as the chosen one, he needs your temple to rest his Holy Spirit in, because he's a righteous God. He is a holy God, and all his works are holy. So he needs to be able to rest in something that is clean. But when you haven't gone through purification and you got all these unclean spirits on you and so much of that on you, he can't fully use you like he wants to. He could use you still, but he wants to fully use you. He want to fully rest in you so you could truly walk out in the magnificent calling that he has over your life, which is why you got to free yourself from these environments. You got to get out of these toxic environments. You got to stop being afraid to branch out and do something different. You got to stop trying to take everybody with you. You got to get rid of the distractions. You have to understand that you're chosen. You can't do what everybody else do. Don't we tell our kids that? Yesterday at the park, I told my baby that the little boy out there taking his shoes off bare feet on the march out at the park. Here my little daughter go. She over there taking off her shoes, then took them off and walking bare feet. I'm like, where do you? I'm like, then I end up seeing a little boy. I'm like, that's where you got that from, because you don't just do that. You don't come out to the park and just take off your shoes, but you saw somebody else doing it. I said, you cannot be a follower. She's 2. I'm like, you cannot do that. And she's chosen herself. She's a chosen one. And this is the importance too of answering the call, because if you don't, it's going to get passed on. It's going to get passed on. Now your child might have to go through some tumultuous things, all because you didn't break the curse off, because God chose you, but you was too afraid to answer the call because of the pressure of the assignment. It's heavy. Like we discussed in the last video, it's heavy. The anointing is heavy, but you must carry it. You must wear it. You must understand that God will go before you. So anything he's putting you in position to do, any message that he's having you to deliver, any battle that he's sending you up to fight, to speak against, to go against, you must do it. It's another, I really got so many testimonies, but when it comes to these landlord-tenant laws, that is something that I defeated back when I was in Houston and stuff. And these are the type of things that he will have you going up against. He's going to have you going up against these demonic laws that was put into place that really is not for the people. He's going to put you in places to challenge authority, which is what you 9 times out of 10 have been doing since you were a child. Because you don't understand, it didn't make sense to you. And when stuff don't make sense to us, we like, I'm not doing that. It don't make sense. It make you be like, this don't make sense. Like, it's not resonating right in my spirit. It does not make sense. I need some clarity, because it's just not making sense. So we'll question it, and they don't like when you question it. They want you to just conform to their authority and to what they say, even if what they're saying is ludicrous. They don't want you to combat them. So they'll try to oppress you. But you can't do what everybody else is doing. You're different than them. You have to accept that you're different. Embrace being different. We're not called here to fit in. We're not called here to all do the same things. That's why I always say, I'm a free spirit. My little baby, this girl, that's why I see it on her. And if I was the type, if I was narcissistic, I got some traits. But if I was a true narcissist, I would be shunning her. I can see the spiritual effect. But she's called here to break off some curses that maybe I haven't been able to break, or that I'm not going to be able to break, because who knows when my time is up or whatever. But I see it on her. She's such a free spirit. That little girl, all she do is want to be naked all the time. I be like, girl, you want to be in your birthday suit all the time. And I had to Google this. I'm like, is this normal? My first baby was nothing like her. They're 2 total different children. I said, this baby is a free spirit. And she's like me and her dad. She's secluded, because me and her dad are both introverts. He's more talkative to people. But on a personal tip, he be chilling a lot by himself. I'm the same way. My daughter is the same way. She won't when we go to play with the kids and stuff out at the play area. She don't be messing with them kids. Them little kids be trying to come up to her and play with her. She be looking like this and go off by herself. She just want to do her own thing. And even in the house, this is what she just does. I just watch her. I'm like, she just wants to do her own thing. She's just a free spirit. She wants to do whatever she want to do. But she's her. She's unique to her. And I have to realize that a lot of times. I'm like, this is a different baby. This she's not her sister. And we can't compare our children. They're not the same. They're not supposed to be. Two totally different beings, but they both have their greatness to them. They both have, what am I trying to say? Like, they have favorable things about them. They both are unique in their own ways, and they both are great in their own ways. Um, you know, and it's just so interesting how he will use your children because, like I tell y'all all the time, or if I do, my daughter has been a very big help with me on my spiritual journey. Even the other day, like I told y'all the last video, what she said about, she heard of the voice, whatever. And then yesterday she said something. And even, before on the journey, like it's just so interesting how God uses my daughter, whether she's telling me something and it just be random. And yesterday, she did a little wish on the flower. Like, y'all know the little things we would pick up, the little wishing flowers, and you blow it and make a wish. So while she made a wish, once again, praying for mommy, she said, I'll pray for mommy to have this and this. Like, one thing about her, she be really wanting goodness for her mom. And I don't even tell her to do it. This is just what she wants for her mom. And while we was leaving the park, and I found $5 just randomly. It was just in, like, on the curb a little bit. And I was like, and I picked up, I was like, wow. I was like, Saylani, look. And I wasn't even about to walk over that way at first. I was gonna stay on the curb with her. She was like, why you ain't coming over on the curb, whatever. And it was just interesting how I walked that way. And then as we got up, so I said, Saylani, look, I found $5. Like, I said, I hardly ever find money. Like, people don't be carrying money no more. You don't be finding money like you used to. And when we got up the street a little bit, she was like, Mommy, and I was about to, and I talk to myself a lot. And when I'm walking outside, I definitely just be talking. Like I told you, I be talking to myself all the time. And I just be having to think out loud. Like, I just gotta say it. So when we was walking, she was like, Mommy, and I was about to shut her up. I was like, I said, I'm trying to think. I'm talking, you trying to talk? Why? I said, every time I'm trying to talk, you want to talk to me. Like, but then I was like, what's up? I was like, what you saying? And then she was like, Mommy, remember before we came, I made that wish and I prayed, I asked God to send you some money and this stuff. Like, it really, she prayed for like a big amount of money for me, and it was just so random. Like, it was just so interesting how that all happened. But she was like, I pray for this. She was like, this, God, please, this, that. And then she's like, Mommy, remember how I prayed and asked with the flower, and I asked for some money? I asked you she was like, and you got that? I was like, you're right. And look, I was getting ready to sit here and shut you up and talk about you interrupting me while I'm trying to talk to myself the whole time. God is using you. He been using this girl the whole journey. That's why you gotta listen to your kids. You gotta hear them out. Hear them out. We can't silence them. You've been silenced, and look what it has done. It's make you feel, invalidated. Like your voice doesn't matter when God called you here to use that very gift of yours, your voice, and it's going to have tremendous impact on the world through your voice that has been silenced. And so that was just a real interesting experience yesterday. Because when she said it, she was like, Mom, remember before we came, I said this, and I'm like, you're right. She's like, now it's not what I said, what I prayed for, but I said God is just reassuring that I got y'all. Just keep riding this out. Keep riding it out. Like, keep riding it out. But this is just to show you I got y'all. I know what I promised, and you have been a faithful servant. I say this all the time. I be like, God, what am I doing wrong? Because I've been a very faithful servant. What's the hold up? But I also understand I be praying for big stuff, like big stuff, big stuff. Even when it comes to my purpose, like big. I don't go so I don't like the smaller things in life, baby. Big on big. I like big, grand, abundance. Like I like, yeah. So even when it comes to my purpose, and as he's just leading me on to what to work on and what I'm really creating, like the empire that I'm building, the legacy that's being left, all for the glory of God and for his people. Because what I'm creating, this is going to help. This is going to last generations and generations, not just my generation, but your generation, your children, because the impact on the culture that this is about to do, and that many of us are being called here to do. This is why a lot of us are awakening. It makes me so good to see that when I look in certain comments, like I was on this video yesterday, the other day that popped up about about the black community, and in the comments it was like a guy going over, I forgot what the name of the YouTube page is, but he was talking about how the wealth gap with the black community and all of that. And y'all know, like, that's a big, y'all know everything that I talk about all the time. I don't even be meaning to talk about it, but I just end up talking about it because it's just something that I'm passionate about us reclaiming what's ours as the chosen ones individually, because we're all ultimately here to awaken the rest of our people who sleep. The black community is sleep. You know, um, it's just a soft spot that I have in my heart for my people. Even though my people get on my nerves, I get on my people nerves too. It's just what it is. But I have a soft spot for us because I know that it's something greater. We were called into abundance. All of us collectively, we're supposed to be the rulers of this world. We're supposed to be dominating. And for us to be at the bottom like we are, the wealth gap like that, I'm passionate about this. And this is why it takes for us to, as individuals, to answer. We got to get into our purpose, because a lot of our purpose is to awaken and to stop the demonic activity that's on our bloodlines. This is why it's important for you to speak up and speak out about the things you've been through, and teach others how to not do this or how to avoid this. And whether they reject it or not, they're going to one day wish they would have listened when that calamity keep falling upon them because of their rebellious spirit and them having a stiff neck. They're going to wish they would have listened. So it's just interesting. This whole journey has just been like, God, you really just, I just can't believe it sometimes. Like, and how how he uses any and everybody, and any and everything that he can use to get your attention, he will. But you have to be receptive of it. You have to be receptive of it. And he's gonna use you to help out other people. I'm like, that's why I always say, I didn't go through this wilderness season being homeless and in a shelter and here and there and carless and everythingless and all the stuff. It was because look now, and that's what I told her. I told my daughter's best friend's mommy that yesterday. I'm like, he get ready to lead you into your purpose, girl. Like, I was like, it's crazy that you said this about Houston, because I'm always complaining about that. I'm like, I want to go back to Houston. I was like, but I don't want to separate my daughter from her best friend again. Like, but I'm like, life happens, and I know I got great things to do here. Like, I'm gonna have this here and this that. So I know that it happens, but I don't want my, we already have been all over the place. Like, I really just want stability for my daughter, and not have her jumping all over the place and, here and there and transferring all these schools and stuff. I really don't want that no more. I want to be planted where I really want to be planted at. But I was like, I don't want her to leave her best friend. Like, I know that once I know I'm gonna end up moving back. That's why I was like, girl, go on, go ahead. We'll see y'all. She's like, girl, yes, let's go. This, that, and that. My stuff, this just talking her stuff, because it's just her little situation. I'm like, God is leading you, boo. Just just trust the process. Like, listen to your intuition. And she was like, that's why I reached out to you. I'm like, yeah, because God is using me to help her, because I've already been there. Like, even though we both came, you know her journey is taking a little longer. And like I said, your wilderness season and your journey will take a little longer when you're not understanding. Like, when he sends you to a new land and you get there and you trying to, you're not focused. You got to be focused when you are being called to a new land. When God is taking you away from your hometown, he's taking you away from those narcissists in your life. You're now getting pushed into something new. And when you try to cling on to the old, or when you come into the new area and you worry too much about a man and relationships, because a lot of y'all do that. Y'all be so focused on love from the outside. Y'all looking for a man, you're praying for a woman, you're praying for money. Like, when we so focused on idolizing our number one two things, the money and these men or these women, and you prioritizing that, and you're seeking friendships and everything, you're holding on. The journey ain't about none of that stuff. It's about seeking first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and then everything will be added to you. It's about building your relationship with God. He's taking you on that journey to get closer to him so he can reveal to you the very questions that you already be having. You be wondering, you be in your house or wherever you at, stressed about this, time to do this. What am I here to do? I just feel like life is this, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just living day by day. I'm just getting by. I'm barely making it. I hate this job. I hate all the things you complain about. Be the very things God wants to deliver you from, but you're not receptive. You won't listen. You won't let up control. And that's a big part of this journey, is letting up that controlling, Jezebelish spirit where you feel like you are dominating and control of everything. You truly have to let up control. As a person who struggled with control, you have to let it up. When you really truly let go and let God, it's like, whatever. I don't know where you're taking me, but I'm just trusting it. I'm gonna be obedient and do what I'm being told to do. Like, it's truly doing that, because I've told y'all in this journey, I could be like, I don't know, these deadlines are approaching. This is gonna be up. This is gonna be happening. The bills due. This is that, and then you get the panicking. That is a trick of the enemy. When you have faith, I mean, it's just, I'm about to start really writing it. I said this as I was writing this stuff out. I was like, I gotta really start writing down every single testimony, the small and the big. Because it just, when you write these things down, and I want y'all to do this, write down whatever complaints, whatever your issues are, write it down. And then when that thing gets solved, write it down. This is the importance of really journaling, because I look at my stuff and I go back, I be like, oh, I remember I told y'all in one of my other videos, like, this my good book here. This got everything. But I want to get a couple other journals so I can like start separating the different purposes of them, because I want to write down that. I told y'all before about the God box. You write down all your fears and your worries and the things that are bothering you and the things that you're fearful of, whether it's things that's going on now or things that happen in the future. Release all your worries. You got to cast all your anxieties onto the Lord. And when you do that, you're going to come back days, weeks, months, years later, and you're going to look and be like, dang, remember when I was worried about this? And look, this didn't even happen. Or my light bill didn't even get cut off. The water bill ain't even get cut off. I don't know, I'm gonna pay the water bill, and they telling me I got to turn off notice, and then it didn't even get cut off, or whatever. And then it's also too, like, you want to write these things down, because when you write it down and you come back to it, it shows you the greatness of God, and how when you truly let go and let God and release it into his hands, He's going to cover for you. He's going to do what needs to be done. And even if, because that's what I told her, I'm like, even if this doesn't work out, it's because it's not supposed to. Learn to embrace rejection. And this is the problem with us, because a lot of us have the spirit of rejection. We don't want to be rejected. We don't want to be criticized. We don't want to be told nothing. But yet, when you really need some help, you're mad that people won't help you because you don't know how to receive help. You don't know how to receive correction. You can't receive constructive criticism. You have a rebellious spirit on you, and having a rebellious spirit on you will prevent you from witnessing the greatness and the glory of God, because you rebelling against the things that he's trying to get you to do to push you into your next season. You want to get mad and get angry at him and get mad, but he's only trying to redirect you. So if he doesn't reject you, if he doesn't allow that rejection to happen, how is he going to navigate you? How is he going to show you where you really need to be? It's like a detour. So when you awaken to understand the true power of rejection, it's just to show you it's something better for me. This ain't it. It's a detour. It's actually protection. Rejection is truly God's protection. And that's why you want to beat that into your head time and time again. You want to drill it into your head every single day. You need to write down on a piece of paper, a sticky note, whatever, put it on a wall. Rejection is God's protection. Rejection is God's protection. Because he has something else for you. And that's what I told her. I'm like, just go. Because if this doesn't work out, it's because God has something greater for you. And a lot of times we be praying for things, but because we're so scared to get uncomfortable, we'll stay and settle. Baby, a chosen one, you don't settle, Pooh. We don't settle. Settle? No, we're not settling for that. You want magnificent things. That's actually in God's will for you. But if you don't trust the process, because you think stuff is going to fall out the sky and you're supposed to just get that blessing without having to do any work, and sometimes your work is simple obedience. It's time to move. And he's sending you on an Abraham mission. He's sending you on a Tania type of mission. It's time to move. You got to be willing to leave. You got to have that faith. You got to walk by faith, not by sight, for real. This is a real thing. These words in this book, this is not just vanity. It's not just here for no reason. These are real things that you have to apply to your life, because it's really, truly life-changing when you begin to apply it. Even the things that convict you and it seems like, oh, you talking about me. It hurts your little ego. It's things that you need to prosper you. This is why I say you need to read your book. You need to be accepting to be receptive to people telling you the things that don't just make you feel good, because they're not catering to your ego. You need to be comfortable with solitude. There's a time and place for everything. How about I read that? Did I read that to y'all before in Ecclesiastes? Because I love me some. I love that part, because there is, and I say that all the time, it's a time and place for everything. Time for make peace and the time to make war. And as you read the Bible, you see it. Like when in the Kings and Chronicles, when they was going through, like, it was like a couple years worth of war, and then he gave them 40 years of rest, no war in the land, just rest in the land. Just look at how modern day times is. That's why I say all of this stuff stemmed from here. We have years of war, and then it be chill. All right, everybody chilling. Ain't no war in the land. Woot. But everything happens and works together for your greater good. And you just must understand that, y'all got to really be into this. And a lot of people don't like the Bible. Get out, baby. I'm almost done. Yes, I'm almost done, y'all. So you have to just understand timing, and it's just amazing. It's amazing, guys. It's amazing. But you have to get to this point, and this takes spiritual development. It takes understanding. It takes going through the motions. Like, This is what it takes. So it says everything in God's own time. To everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. So true. A time to get and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to cast away. A time to rend and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. What profit has he worked in that wherein he labored? I have seen the travail which God has given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. So he's basically saying, like, all these works is for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. There's good and bad in everything. This is the world we live in. It's light and dark. They're opposing forces, but they work together for the greater good, which is why God created day and night, which is why he created the sun and the moon. They're opposites, but they work together for the greater good. They both serve purpose. The times of peace serve purpose. The times of war serve purpose. I say this all the time because I'm that type of person too. I'm not at war all the time, but I understand there is a time for war. It's a time for that. I don't want war all the time in my life. I don't want to have nobody in my life when it's always this all the time. But there is a time and place for things. There's a time where you just let stuff slide, and there's a time where, no, I gotta check that. Hold up. Let me check that. Let me check you right quick on that. Let me check you. Try and play with me. Let me hold up. But this is what you must understand. It's a time and place for everything. And when you begin to embrace that, like it said here, it's a time to be born, a time to die. And this is something that through this journey that I have realized is just like, you just gotta embrace life. Like, life has such new meaning for me. And when you get to this place where you evolve and just understand that it is what it is. Everything has a time and a place. You can't be so struck by the fact that, you've lost certain people. Like, it's a part of it. Like, you got to just take the good with the bad. Yes, it hurts. And even God even talks about grieving in here. Like, that's why I say read your Bible. Like, that brings the ultimate spiritual fulfillment. It's not about what the church has told you, because most of the church, and I used to hear people say this, like, oh, you got the Bible thumpers, they didn't read the Bible front to back, and this, that, and that. These people ain't read the Bible front to back. That's another lie. These people ain't read the Bible front to back. They definitely ain't. The people, attention span, they barely want to read the verse that the pastor tell them to read. They ain't reading that. They have not read this book front to back, and you want to know why? Because they didn't told you not to even read Old Testament, so you haven't read the book front to back, which is why people don't have understanding, because it's through truly reading Old Testament that really gives me understanding. I like Matthew too. I haven't read all of it. And even some of Paul's things, even like I said, we got some things to uncover about that man. But I still like some of what he says too. He does have some vital information, some good principles that he would teach on. So we ain't gonna do away with everything. But you always take what you can and leave the rest, and that's from anybody. Everything that you get from somebody everything is not gonna apply to you, but you take what does and you leave the rest. And that's just with life. Like, you can't walk around mad and angry and bitter about everything that has happened to you. Yes, it hurts, and it takes time too. I mean, it takes time. Time is the answer to all things. Time. But we are so in a season of our life. Not necessarily a season. We're just in these day and times where everything is just like fast. We want instant gratification. We want to fall in love as soon as we meet a person. We don't want to get to vet them. We want to just move real fast. We want to just like go from just meeting you to family overnight, so we rush a lot of things. We don't get to know people. We don't get to know their background. We don't get to know the spirits that's really on them. We don't really get to know we don't really get to truly vet them and truly see if our goals are in alignment to some capacity. We don't do this. And we wonder why things just fall so easily, is because we rush things. We want to take the elevator to success. We want to take the elevator to all things. We want to take the elevator to weight loss. We want to take the elevator to healing from these illnesses, not realizing that it took years for these illnesses to develop because of your eating habits, because of your stress levels, the blood pressure, high blood pressure that you have, because of habitual stress, anxiety, and depression, because of these spirits that you let plague on you about things that you don't even have control over anymore, things that already happened, that you can't go back and change, but yet you let those things still plague you. When you learn to literally let go and let God, you be like, you can't really hold that hate in your heart. You can't harbor all the hate in your heart that these people done to you. Yeah, you be like, look, I can't deal with you. It's all love from a distance, boo, but I ain't got time for that. But you don't harbor the hate to the point where everything is just like, and you truly got to ask to have your heart cleansed. I'm gonna put the little scripture up here with create in me a clean spirit, dear Lord, or I think that's what it is. Create in me a clean spirit, renew my heart, or create in me a clean heart, something like that. That's one of my scriptures that I like to look at. And this is something that you want to include in your prayer all the time, to purify your heart. And this is what this part of your journey is about. It's purifying your heart. You want to go through purification of mind, body, soul, and heart. You want to cleanse up all of that stuff, because harboring on to hatred and bitterness and unforgiveness, forgiving isn't for them, it's for you, so that you can clear up that energy off your heart. Your heart is small, boo. You don't have the space. You don't have the capacity to harbor on all this hate for these people, because you're so busy wanting to find love, and you want people that do love you and that do care about you. So if you got this small heart, they say your heart is the size of a fist. If you got half of it covered up with so much darkness because of the hatred and the bitterness that you got for your ex and your baby mama, your ex-wife, your mama, daddy, and brothers and cousins, sister, you got all this hate there. That means you only got half of the heart that is receptive and open to love, to light, to something healthy. And very quickly will this overtake the rest with this newfound love and this new space that you're trying to create, because you got so much hate still in there. You got to cleanse it. You got to truly go through purification. You need to detox. You're backed up. You got IBS. You need to cleanse internally, trying to dress it up and make it look good, worrying about all of this on the outside. That's what so many people do, and it serves them nothing. It gets you nowhere. It is a vanity. It is vanity to worry about everything on the outside, but your inside is so messed up. Your attitude is so messed up. Your character is still, you don't stand firm on nothing. You just go whichever way the wind blow. You got to stand firm on something. You have to have a base, and you have to be principled, and your foundation should definitely be starting with God, and let everything build upon that. But when you try to build it all off balance, when you're not planted in God, your foundation is gonna always be faulty. It's gonna be rocky. You're never gonna be able to truly build and maintain. You're not. It's gonna be sloped and slippery and all over the place, because it's not built on a proper foundation. It's not built on true principles, morals, and values. It's built on instant gratification. And when you get stuff off of instant gratification, it quickly depletes you and make you feel worse off than you did in the beginning. This is why you can't be looking for love in all the wrong places. You can't be letting these distractions and what everybody else got going on infiltrate you. You can't be letting these things that other people have going on affect you. You have to have tunnel vision. You have to understand that when God sends you on a mission, it's for that. It's for a specific thing. You can't go into these. That's why I noticed that with people like I used to say that when I was at the shelter. I'm like, these girls, we in the shelter, and it was a bunch of them. Like the other girl, I'm like, I saw her. I mean, it was a lot of them, honestly, because like they be around the corner. Got the one lady, and she was like, I don't know what she was. I think she was a white girl, and she got some dude in his truck. He always park on like the side and stuff, and she got a little baby in a little car seat. I'm like, what? Who is this man you sneaking around with? Like, what is really going on? When you in certain times of your life, it's a time for you to get focused. It's not a time for you to be, especially when you on a mission from God, when God sent you somewhere and you was urged in your spirit that it's time to move somewhere else. He's not sending you there for you to go do the same activities, talking and dating this one and meeting up with these fools to go smoke and stuff. Like, that's why I was like, I'm here. I already knew I came to Texas on assignment. I didn't come to Texas to fool around with nobody. I didn't come to Texas to look for love. I didn't come to Texas to look for friends. I literally came to prosper. I came here because I knew the promise was here. The lifestyle that was promised, my purpose, that's what I came here for. And to be in a new environment, to have that oasis feel, which is why I want to move back to where I was so I can have that beach vibe. Like, it's for a purpose. And when you don't do things intentionally and with purpose, you're gonna always find yourself back at square one, falling back on your butt or back feeling upset. And then you'll be even upset at God because he allowed certain things to happen when he didn't tell you to even do that. It's like we get ourselves into stuff that we didn't even ask God, is this person for me? Is this job for me? Is this path for me? We didn't ask him, but as soon as we get into it, through our own free will that everybody loves to bang because we got the free will to do this and do that. And you don't want nobody judging you. So when somebody tell you, no, boo, I think you should do this, you're like, no. You got a stiff neck and you got that rebellious spirit on you. And then this stuff happened to you, the calamity fall upon you because of the stuff that you got yourself into. Now you mad at God and you mad at everybody else. But now, and at no point do you look within and be like, I shouldn't have did that. I just been doing foolish things, You have to learn how to have better boundaries. You have to let go of that people pleasing spirit. It's okay to feel for other people, but understand that there's a boundary that you need to place. There's a boundary that you need to place because if you don't, people will try to impede their issues on you, and then it's going to take you backwards. We're not going backwards in life no more. We want to go forward. So many of us are tired of being in these same cycles. You're tired of being in these same cycles because you don't understand why you keep going in these cycles. Like the Israelites, they kept going in the wilderness. You was only supposed to be in there for a short period. For a short period of time. And these days turned into years because y'all just couldn't stop. You couldn't stop. You got to be able to stop. Like, you got to be able to pick up on what God is putting down for you. You got to be able to understand why you're in the season that you're in. Don't go here and you get to a new town. You ready to let me see what they got here that's hot and ready, and you're focused. You have to get focused, and that's what this season is about. I didn't mean to make this video this long, but I need y'all to understand that you have to get focused and get rid of the distractions and understand that you are here on an assignment. And the only way God can truly reveal your true assignment is if you, for one, let go of the distractions, be bold, be truthful with yourself and with others, be courageous. You have to be courageous and understand that you were called for this. And even if you don't think you called and you don't have all the tools that you need, understand that God will equip you with what you need. And as time goes on, you will get better at what you're doing, but you must first just start. Just start. Just do it. Stop worrying about all the trying to plan everything out. You gotta just do it. Like Nike, just do it, baby. You ain't stuck. Just do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Anything that you want to do right now, just do it. Just do it. Even if you don't know how you're gonna get somewhere, baby, God will just go. If He's telling you to go somewhere, just go. He gonna have somebody there. If He's telling you go get on a plane and it's time to take your one little bag that you have and dip, get on a plane. You like, I don't got no money. I don't get this. Go to the airport. He gonna have somebody there to buy you a plane ticket for you and all your kids and everything. He got you. He telling you go to the bus station, go to the train station. He has destiny helpers that are assigned to help you, but you must believe and you must answer the call. You must do it. A lot of the things that has happened to you is an effect because the person before you, 9 times out of 10, it was the same one in your family that oppressed you, the main one, the main culprit, the head honcho. They too were the black sheep. They too were the one that was silenced. They too were that. And instead of them answering the call and being brave to speak up, they suffered from a spirit of fear where they did not want to challenge authority. They were scared of everything. So they didn't do it. So then they projected those same feelings onto you. And now it's your turn. As the millennials here, we're here to break this cycle. We are the millennial messiahs. We're here. This is why a lot of us as truth tellers, we're speaking up and speaking out. Something that the older generations hate because they couldn't do it. But they could. You got a mouth, but you were scared. You were more scared of the man, of mankind, than you was of God. And this is what you have to understand. You cannot be more afraid of humans than the Lord. That's people's problem. People be more scared of the government than the Lord. It's crazy to me. Because when you understand God, He overpowers all mankind. We saw once how He wiped all of mankind out. Do you think he's getting ready to do another big one, as we've been discussing in these videos? He has the final say, not no man, not no woman. I mean, when I'm saying man, mankind, we don't have the final say in nothing. God has the final say. So He needs you to trust in Him and have that faith in Him. Have faith in your journey. Have faith. Trust the process. Trust where He is leading you. And when He call you into this position, you got to fully be ready. You got to be willing to walk into it. You might not be ready, but as you're in it, He's going to clean you up. He's going to clean you up. You got to just let it. You got to go with His flow, not your flow. Go with His flow. And just trust the process. I'm living it. I've lived it. I'm telling you, that's why I had to go through it so that I can be the one to tell y'all, like, look, you're going to be crying. You're going to have days where you like, oh, you want me to say this? I'm going to get a bunch of this. Get it. You got to do it anyway. You want me to do this? You really want me to do this? But you got to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to do it. Like I always say, in the Bible, many of them prophets, many of them had to do some very challenging tasks that the Lord told them to do. Just like more videos that I'll be having coming soon. Just like I said, I'm trying to hurry but finish. I keep saying it, but I really am almost done. It's just like, I got a little bit of perfectionism to me a little bit. So I just want to make sure everything is included that y'all need. And then I got to make sure it look right, So once I'm finished with this, I'll be able to fully get back focused into my book to get this history, because this is what we ultimately want to talk about, because that's what I'm really here to do. I'm really here to do that. Like I said, I'm on 2 assignments: the chosen race as a whole, and then within that race, the chosen people. And many of us are called here on similar missions, because I can't reach everybody, but there's something that you're specialized in, that you went through, that you're going to be able to help. You may have had a family member, or you might have personally went through a battle that I haven't went through. You might know what it's like to be addicted to a certain substance, or maybe have a family member that was addicted, or, You may have experienced certain things that I haven't, and that's why God is calling you here to do. You're here to build up the world. You're here to save many people. You're here to free them from bondage. You're here to bring the light to them and release them from darkness through your charities, your nonprofits, through your business, through your ministry, through your platform, through your voice, through your acts of service to the community. Like, you're here to serve. You're a servant of the Lord. You're here to serve. And that's what you have to understand. You got to go through this process that you need to and clear people out the way that's distracting you from walking into your assignment, and that's actually hindering you from being able to resurrect that star like we discussed in the last video. You have to clear it out. You got a true purpose here, a true purpose that only you can do. And if you don't do it, now suffering's gonna have to go down to the next generation just so that they can accomplish it. Because God gotta have some. Why do y'all think so many of these things get passed down? It's because nobody's willing to break it off. It's like God is like, dang, which one of y'all gonna do it? Who gonna do it? Which one of y'all gonna do it? And a lot of times it's on you to do it. And because they know that, like we read in the last video, we was reading from this book about the star, they know that you're the one that's called here to do it. And because they know, they don't want you to expose them. They don't want you to uncover their shame. They don't want you to do that. But you must do it. You must do it. You must be bold, brave. Like I said, a lot of y'all scared of y'all calling. You scared of it. You scared of it. Don't be scared, Pooh. Do it. Go big or go home. This chosen one thing is not a joke. It's not just for just to be cute and want to feel special and to feel good and feel better than other people. And it's not that. It's a real thing. This is a real job, a real assignment. This is real. This is real. And this is important. It's important to humanity, and especially our people. That's why I'm like, we gotta know. That's why I can't rest easy. Like it's like I can't even explain it. It just been on me. And the fact that like I went back to like my old videos, like the stuff that I talk about the abortion and all of that. I was talking about this when I first got to Houston and didn't even know that we were the chosen people. But I just had that drive for our community. I just hate seeing us down bad. I hate that for us. I hate that for us. And even like our community, it's like we be having we be fake angry at each other, even though it's like it's true pain and sadness there. But you know, the hate that's towards one another, like we really got a lot of it. Just like, to me, it's like fakeness because of the pain. So you got to be hard up. But really, a lot of people will be some soft, nice people for real. They really not like that. But the spirit that's on them is wreaking havoc on them. But on a soul level, that's why you can see a lot of these hard looking people, even outside. Like when you go out into certain places, you be like, they really some sweethearts. Like, they really some sweethearts. It's just some pain that's on them and the demons that's attached to them, and they haven't broke free from it. You know, and that's why we're here to awaken these people. If enough of us start speaking up, they ain't got no choice but to get it together. They ain't got no choice. I know I'm not gonna stop talking my mess, because y'all gonna hear me, y'all gonna feel me. Y'all gonna feel me. And that's the importance about being true to who you are, because the way that you speak, it's gonna hit. You know? And that's what people need. I know one thing about it, I always have had the ability to make you feel me. I'm gonna make you feel me. Yeah, you gonna feel it. You have no choice but to feel it. I want it to pierce you. I want it to hit that soul. I need you to feel me. It ain't no hate for you. It's all out of love. I want you to get it together. I want you to prosper. I want you to win. So if I want you to win, all that BS you doing, you can't be doing that. That is hindering you, not helping you. And that's just how God be feeling towards us. It's not that he doesn't want you not to have fun and not to do stuff. No, he knows that stuff that you be getting into, all the lead us to your demise. All it do is lead to you crying in the corner again. Come crying to me about how he treating you, how she treating you. Well, stop giving into that. I done told you once, leave the girl alone. Leave the dude alone. I done told you, you don't listen. Just some rebellious children, like he says in the book. That's how I know we are these people, because we are the one most rebellious community I've ever seen in my life. The most stiff-necked community I've ever seen in my life. But it's okay, because we gonna get y'all together. And even if I don't finish the job, my little daughter, my little 2-year-old, oh yeah, she up. Wait till we raising her up. We raising her up. The youth coming after us. But the millennials, we really awakening. I'm seeing it and I love it, but too many of us still sleep. Too many of us still sleep. We gotta ignite that fire. We came, like I told y'all in the last video, we came to bring the sword, baby. You know? So I'm gonna leave this video here because y'all know I will talk y'all heads off. But I'm gonna leave this video here. I want y'all to truly focus, get rid of the distractions, get focused, get really into your lane, what you call here to do. Some of y'all be watching me and y'all know about who we truly are. Okay, we need your voice to be heard. You need to ask God, pray to God, ask if that's your purpose, because we need this stuff to be out here to the masses, and we need it backed by facts, and we need to be able to truly teach this thing boldly to awaken us, because the children coming under us, they need to know as well. That's why I say, what I got to do, I don't got time to be entertaining nothing. I'm truly here on assignment. And now that I know my assignment, oh baby, I gotta be here steadfast in this, 10 toes down in this, working, reading, ordering everything that I need to connect everything so that I can make sure I leave this for the masses. A lot of stuff that I got in my vision for the children, for the future, not just my children, all the children. Y'all know I love the children. My stuff, I got to be making sure they learn that history first. They got my little kids and stuff. My little, like, a lot of stuff I got is for the kids, because I'm team the kids, feelings matter. I'm about my kids. I'm about the kids, because the children are our future, and we got to make sure we raising them up in the way they should go. They got to know the truth. They need to be brave, bold. They need to know that they're beautiful. They need to know that they can be creative. They need to know that they are their own person, that they have their own identity, and that they don't have to be like everybody else. Hey, leave that stuff alone. Leave that alone. Y'all need to go on. They need to know. That's why I keep it a being with my daughter. She knows the truth. And that's why I said, you need to be making sure you teach your children to have a relationship with God. You can cover for them always, but they need to have their own relationship, because anything can happen to you today or tomorrow. They need to know who the Lord is, know how to call on the Lord, no matter if they're in a good season in their life, a bad season, all seasons, every day they must be talking to the Lord. They need that closeness. They need to know when they're hearing from God. This is stuff that they need to know. It's important for them to know this stuff. You know? They must know. So, you guys, I'll see y'all in the next video. I hope y'all got something out of this video. And until the next time, baby. Deuces.